What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and while our nation, the United States of America, hunkered down for election night, I've got bigger issues on my plate. I've already voted, so I'm good. I can just sit back and relax. Or, as I plan on doing, not watching anything about it, and just letting the cars fall where they do. Got bigger issues, though. That issue is the Minnesota. The USS Minnesota, the Tier 9 Minnesota, not the state. I have never come across a United States Navy ship in this game that I have such disdain for, such hatred towards, as the Minnesota. I cannot stand this ship. Every time I play this ship, it feels like I'm slowly being tortured. Feels like someone's taken pliers and they're slowly pulling my fingernails from my fingers. Or they're putting bamboo shoots under my fingernails. Or some other form of torture. Maybe even, I don't know, waterboarding. It's that miserable to play this ship. I hate it. And hate is a strong word. And I try to say that every single ship in this game is good in some way, shape, or form. But as to date, I have found no redeeming value to the Minnesota. None whatsoever. Every single possible redeeming value this ship has something that negates it completely and wholly. And unfortunately, this is indicative of the split that we got. So, if you're hoping the Vermont's going to be any better, well, don't get your hopes up. I am not a fan of this split. I'm not a fan of what they did to this split. I was hoping for something completely different. We didn't get that. But I'm not just going to toss out my hatred for the Minnesota, though. I'm not just going to say I hate it. I'm going to back that hatred up. I'm going to give you the reasons why I hate this ship. And you know what? Some of you out there might enjoy it. And if you do, good on you. And I'm sure some of you all play this ship really good. And if you do, good on you. I'm sure there are plenty of people that like this ship, and that's awesome. Again, every ship in this game will have someone that likes it. But this ship is not going to have me liking it. Not one bit. And I'm going to tell you why right now. So first, let's talk a little bit about the survivability of the Minnesota. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to tell you right now, I tried my hardest. I tried my absolute hardest to get a good round. A round where I did good damage to showcase this ship to you. It just didn't happen. And I finally gave up. So, the ship itself, 69,500 hit points at Tier 9. Yeah, alright, whatever. That's not that bad. Artillery, you're looking at 4 triple turrets of 406mm guns. On paper, that sounds awesome. I mean, that doesn't sound bad at all. Until you look at the reload time, which is a lethargic 35.2 seconds. 35.2 seconds. You can't even fire twice in 1 minute. You're clocking 2 salvos at about 1minute and 10 seconds, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's completely slow, and you feel every excruciating second of that. On top of that, shell velocity is slow as well. You're looking at an AP shell velocity of 762 meters per second. I can't think of any ships right off the top of my head that have a slower shell velocity than that. And it's not even like these guns are accurate. They don't feel accurate at all. They feel loose, they feel unpleasant, and I don't like them. Moving on to AA, alright, your AA's it's somewhat decent. You know, it's not that horrible. But the thing I really want to touch on is the maneuverability of this ship. And this is what absolutely kills this ship for me. Maximum speed of 24.2 knots, and that's with Sierra mics. So without Sierra mics, you're looking at 23 knots or so. I haven't seen anything this slow since like Tier 5 for the United States Navy. I don't even think Colorado's this slow. Yeah, your turning circle radius might be 700 meters, and that sounds like it might be decent, until you realize that you are going 24.2 knots with Sierra mics, and get this, your rudder shift time is 23.4 seconds. That's how long it takes your rudder to shift. So that 700 meter turning circle radius is going to take you longer than just about every other single US ship in the game. And you feel every second of that as you're on fire, or you're getting pelted by other ships, or you're just getting utterly demolished and destroyed. Detectability range by sea with everything on your ship, 13.8 kilometers. It's not even as good as Montana. I think Montana's what, 13.4? Unless I'm mistaken, which I might be. But you know what? So be it. I don't care. I hate this ship. I really don't like what Wargaming did with this split. Not one bit. I think you all know what I wanted this split to entail. I think you know that I wanted to see the USS Washington and ships like that, and have a strong, fast secondary line similar to the other ships that we got, like Georgia. But that didn't happen. No USS Washington. No historically realistic and real-to-life ships that did some really cool things in World War II. We got this bizarre paper line that's based upon other ships that almost existed, but didn't. And the result are ships that just, for lack of a better word, are boring. They're dull. Look, when I play battleships, I like to get in the mix. I like to push forward. I like to fight. I like to brawl. I like my secondaries popping off. You cannot do that in this ship. If you overextend in the Minnesota, if you push too early, your survivability is 0. You have no survivability whatsoever. Because when you get into a situation, you can't get out of it. You have two options. One is to back up, which is going to take you eons, or it's to duke it out, in which you're probably going to lose because your armor isn't even that great. So what does that leave you with right now? It leaves you with a ship that you don't want to push in, because you know if you do, you're not going to be able to survive. You're not going to be able to get out of something that you get stuck into. And so what's the point? You've basically got a ship that forces you to play in the back, and it's not fun. I mean, seriously, it's outgunned and out everything by the Georgia. I mean, this ship makes the Azuma look good. The Azumo, excuse me. This ship makes the Azumo look good. Honestly, I'd rather take North Carolina at tier 8 into a battle with tier 10s than this ship. This ship, again, in my opinion, has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. None. Your guns only get really good once you start closing in on the enemy and you hit that, sub 15 kilometer mark on enemy ships. Even better around 10 kilometers. But guess what? By the time you get to 10 kilometers, you don't want to be 10 kilometers from the enemy, because you're not getting out of that situation. You're stuck in it, and you're just going to get rocked by everything out there. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I have had a miserable time playing this ship. Usually with a new ship, I can at least have some decent rounds no matter how bad the ship is. Not with this ship for some reason. I just can't. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm cursed in this ship. And it's unfortunate because I was really looking forward to the USN battleship split. I'd said I wanted it for the longest time, and here we are. This is what we got, and I'm just not happy with it. One bit. So, Minnesota, the USN battleship split, I'm not a happy camper with it. And I'm not going to say Wargaming, made a mistake or anything. They obviously had their vision. This is their vision right here. This is what they wanted. So be it. I'm sure it'll appeal to some players out there. But for the brawlers out there, for people like me, no, it's not going to appeal to you one bit. So my advice to you, if you do like those type of ships that you can brawl with, that you can get in the mix with, don't bother grinding this line. It will be a waste of time for you. It will only cause misery. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to like the end result. You're not going to like Minnesota, and I guarantee you're not going to like Vermont either. Everything about it is just too slow, from its reload to its turning to its speed. And when you're fighting against other tier 10 battleships that can cruise around in the mid 30 knot range, it's a recipe for disaster. So it forces you to stay in the back. And what's the fun of staying in the back? I don't know. So anyhow, that's a look at the Minnesota and the split. I wish I had better game footage to give you. I really do. but I just didn't have a good game in this ship. I haven't had a good round in it, period. I feel cursed. And usually I can pick up any new battleship and do well in it. Not this one, though. It is fighting me tooth and nail. And I just can't stand it. So, if you are looking for the split to be something good or something you'd enjoy, temper your expectations, because chances are, especially if you like the way USN battleships are now, and ships like Missouri, Iowa, Georgia, Ohio, North Carolina, these are not them. These are more reminiscent of taking a New York and sticking it in a Tier 10 battle. So, that's exactly what this is. Anyhow, if you do have the Minnesota, I want to know what your thoughts of it are. If you played Kansas, I want to know what your thoughts are. Are they similar to mine? Are you upset at the direction that the split went? Or do you like it? And if you like it, I want to know, because I know some of you out there do like it. I mean, it's inevitable, and I want to know your experiences and what you've done to make this ship work for you, because obviously I'm not doing that. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you're doing wonderful. I'll catch you all later. Zoop out.